Not be either. So let me talk to my single sisters with no children.
Come on.
First of all, when I was single with no kids, I said, I'm a unicorn. Because everybody around me during that time at least had a child or had a husband. Like, do they exist? Absolutely. And you are just as important as everybody else. Plus something. Your time is yours. Your time is yours so that you can know you. And that is, as I reminisce for 2 seconds.
Remember.
But no, listen, I'm happy that I am here now. What I will say, that while I was single, right before I got married, I was doing things like this. This is my place of purpose. I am a connector, I'm a reacher, I am a natural joy, I'm an encourager, a motivator. I love bringing people together and fellowshipping. It comes easy. So when my husband saw me doing that, he saw me in my glow.
Come on.
And then we start to put things on. And sometimes what happens when you put a sheet over a lamp trying to set a mood?
Set the mood.
You
Go ahead, girl.
You're dimming the lights. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't see you good.
Sometimes that's the idea.
Sometimes that is the idea.
Well,
Trying to hide this little scar here. But there does have to come a time where we have to take the shade off, take the uniform off, take that part off, and be who we are. And then when we're able to connect with friends and they've got to see us in one space, but we've had to transition to another space, sometimes those friendships don't make it.
yeah, that's true.
I'm grateful that I have a best friend of 20-something years. And if she didn't live 4 hours away and have something going on, she would have been here because she comes for everything. I had another question that came in talking about friendships, something that we don't talk about. We don't talk about what happens when friendships end. Like, what happens when girlfriends break up?
Yeah, that's good.
We talk about, and barely. Now, we'll talk about what happens when we break up with our boyfriend. We'll call, girl,
Let me tell you. Baby, you was right.
And then we'll barely talk about if we've been through a divorce.
Yeah.
Barely. We'll talk about the boyfriend breakup, but it's hard sometimes to talk about the divorce.
Yeah.
I can say that from experience. I married my high school sweetheart. We were only married for 7 years. Ma helped me walk on through that one.
Yeah.
Y'all see I made it, right? That's what good girlfriends are for. And I use that word in every sense and full respect of the word, because she pulled me, walked me, and I'm so grateful for that, because here we are. And then she approved of the next before.
I love Tim. Look, Lonnie and Tim, I love him. But here's the thing. You've got to understand when you're transitioning that God will bring people at the point of your transition. That's how we met. She was in the military with my husband. And she was talking to my husband and he was like, oh, you need to meet my wife. That's how we connected 15 years ago. Wow. There has not been a moment 15 years that we have not been in each other's life. We have walked through everything together. So you have to learn, ask God to allow you to recognize when he's sending new people in your life, because it's for a specific reason. Sometimes it's going to be a lifetime. Sometimes it's just going to be for that season. But it's going to be what you need. And you have to be open. It could be even in your business. Somebody to help transition you to the next place. But you have to be open when God sends them, and don't just shut them down.
Exactly.
Or, be suspicious. What you want? Wait a minute. I don't know you. Okay, you may not know them, but God is introducing them to you.
Man.
Every new level requires an introduction.
Yes.
You can't go to the next level without somebody bringing you there. And they introduce you. Now you're legally there. So you got to recognize when God is doing that for you.
And I think about those introductions, what that takes as we are discovering ourselves is trust.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Trust God, trust yourself, trust your sister. They are coming for a reason. But my last sister hurt me. Y'all, I had a girlfriend in the military. We were thick as thieves. And when that relationship ended, I did not understand. But things had shifted. I was married. I had Janae, our firstborn. And my time was different. I couldn't reach out like I wanted to. I meant well. My heart was in the right place. Sometimes we don't always talk about the expectations of our relationships.
That's so good.
And if I expect one thing and you're serving something different, then I'm going to get my feelings hurt.
False expectations.
And I might not understand why. But then when it fizzles, then who do I go and talk to? And instead of keeping that in, I'm glad that those new transitioning friendships, people will come along. And I can, without putting any business out there, I can talk about how I feel, what I experience, and they can give me perspective. Like, well, maybe you should have did this, or okay, I can understand why that was hard, but did you look at it this way? Like, and if I owe some responsibility, if there's some for me to bear, then I can deal with that then. If you have friends that always tell you, yeah, you right, yeah, they shouldn't, yeah. That's not your friend.
I wanna say something that they have collectively been talking about, but the word grief comes to mind.
That's good.
When I think about when something ends.
Yes.
And outside of losing an actual loved one, the grief of a relationship that's ended, a friendship, a sisterhood. And I find myself incredibly grateful for the transitional people that have come alongside me, because I've been able to wipe the makeup off, not look the part, and be completely vulnerable in my rawest state to say, hey, I need somebody alongside me in this new place, place I've never been before. I have had relationships in my life, friendships in my life that have ended. And to be honest with you, unless you have those transitional people around you, you don't have language for that space. Because it's one thing to talk about what you feel that has happened to you, but it's another thing to take accountability to say, hey, I may have done this and that and X and Y and Z, and getting to a place to where you even forgive yourself.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that if we talk about the grief and we acknowledge the fact that we must be incredibly vulnerable and not with the facade, the mask, like, oh, that didn't bother me, or I just shut them out my life, or I just block them. Why? It's a reason we react in those ways.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about people of wisdom, transitional people that come alongside you, they can speak language into that, where maybe your previous friendships or circles couldn't have. I love what Joy said. She said, if you have someone around you that's always saying, yeah, girl, you right, it's not your friend. That's such a fact. Yeah. Because my perspective and how I'm looking at you is one way. But we have women all around this room that are looking at every different angle, and we need their perspective.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, Auntie.
Y'all basically have said it all. I was like, when Apostle was talking, I was like, she said exactly what I was going to say, Joy. And so this friendship thing has, in the last, I'd say, year or so, I've
going through a transition with a friend, and it's been really difficult because of the longevity of the relationship. I just really couldn't. I was trying to understand, and it was like, God, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you doing? You know, and I'm always the one who I sometimes want to consider myself the bigger person. You know, I'm like, I'm going to be the bigger person. And it's like, okay, well, what is that in this season of your life? Because I'm the one that's going to, it's just, I'm going to reach out. I'm just going to be the one to keep I'm going to reach out. But then after a while, it was like, God was like, no, I want you to because I'm a fixer. Yeah. Okay, when you are a fixer, you want to fix everything, relationship, for everybody. No, let it sit right where it is. Leave it alone. And I have learned, because like I said, I'm a fixer. I was telling her earlier, my son called me bossy because I'm always, and I was really good with Joy because I mean, this is Joy's, this is her, but I'm the type that I want to go in and I want to help and I want to do that. Let it be. Yeah. So in relationships, I've learned that if it is on the ground right now, leave it on the ground. When it's time, and if it's time, it may never be time for it to rise back up. And you got to be good with it because I promise you, God is doing something in this season. 3 months ago, I did not know this young lady. I didn't know this young lady a month or two ago. And I just met you. God is doing something new. He is. Okay. And so I can say and declare without a shadow of a doubt, when he said, great is thy faithfulness, morning by morning, new mercies I see. I'm telling you, I love it. I see it, I feel it, okay? And so I am forever, and that's why I said I am forever grateful for what he is doing in this season, in a difficult season, because sometimes he'll put us in a season where things are going well, and then he'll have that opposing thing going too. It's like, okay, you're like, okay, God, what are you doing? And he said, trust me, okay? Trust me. Take your hands off of it and trust me. And I'm grateful. I'm in the season now. I'm like, okay, whatever you do, God, I receive it. Okay. No matter what. Yeah.
What I hear real big, when you are grateful, because I'm going to pivot to another question, but if you keep gratitude and leaving things as they be, it will help minimize your stress. So one question came in, how do you prevent burnout when you get stressed from just doing too much? Well, there it is. Sometimes you're just doing too much.
Doing too much. Stop. The answer is within the question.
That's right.
Stop doing too much. I think that's where the me time comes in at. Because the me times it recalibrates you. That me time, it resets you. So you got to make sure that you get that. And it's when we don't get that, that we start feeling the weight of it all. The business, the husband, the lack of, the kids, the lack of, mama, daddy, grandkids. Stuff keeps piling on our plates.
That's true.
But the moment you say, I can't. My son's they planning a wedding right now. I've been doing everything. This week I said I ain't doing nothing else. I don't care what's done, what's ordered, what ain't. You're on your own. You better figure it out. I'm pulling up because I'm starting to feel it. This ain't my wedding, it's y'all's. So I owe it to that. This is what I live by. And I started this about 25 years ago. To thine own self be true.
Amen.
I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to live no lie. So I'm starting to feel it. I drop everything. There you go. Thank God for what you got. Because you ain't getting nothing else. It's a wrap.